Alright guys, this is my video for first impressions on the Megamouth reel. Um, as you can see, I've got it out of the package. I was a little disappointed to see that it was just in here flopping around, just kind of rattling around in there. It wasn't secured anyway. I think it kind of just fell out of this mold right here, and not a big deal. It just kind of, you know, a little weird. But then here's the little riser that you use to lift the reel up or down on your riser. That's basically what that block is for. There's an extra little light in there that I don't use. I'm not going to use those. They have a AMS stopper and a slide in there. Not sure why, but then they have an extra screw for the riser again. Anyway, a lot of people are in an uproar over this reel right now. A lot of Muzzy fans hating on them. A lot of people hating on them that probably haven't even held one in their hand. And to tell you the truth, I went and picked this thing up today, and regardless of what everybody was saying, I think there's just a lot of die-hard Muzzy fans that just don't want to see another company compete with them, and that's fine. Being a fanboy is one thing. That's fine. You go ahead and be a fanboy, but I'm a Muzzy guy too. I have 4 Muzzies at home, and I like them better than AMS. AMS is good too. For certain things, certain people like AMS more than Muzzy. But I actually have a Retriever Pro and a Fish Hawk. That was my first bow. Still got it, and it wasn't long before I ended up with an Osprey with a Muzzy reel on that. And I have my problems that I have with them too. I've had those reels, I've had them let me down before, and they are good reels. I'm not gonna say they're not a good reel. They're probably the best out there right now to pick from. You know, well, yeah. Anyway, this is a company, that I guess they're made in the USA. But not only that, they're in Wisconsin too. That's where I'm from, and I'm an engineer of certain products too. I don't actually have them out on the market, but I have several products of my own that I've made that I'm working on patents for right now. But I know what I know a little bit about what it's like to come up with an idea and get it out on the market and have it be successful and stuff. And I'm all about promoting that. That's why I went and bought this reel, just because I want to promote that company and help them succeed, because I think they got something here that could be good. So anyway, back to my first impressions. When I got it and I saw it in the box, I was pretty concerned because I thought I was looking at a lot of plastic parts. There's a lot of people that are on there on Facebook and stuff like that, talking crap about how they're all just plastic junk. And it does look like plastic. This I thought was all machined brass. This too, all the gold that they have in their videos on the Megamouth website, I thought was all machined brass. Like a stainless, or not a stainless, like a saltwater reel is. They're made of that, machined brass with lacquer coating, and really nice. So so I was hoping to see good high polished brass and stuff like that, not what appeared to be plastic. Well, I'm wrong. They're not plastic. They're actually made of aluminum. I've never seen anodized aluminum this color before. It might even be painted. I'm not sure, but it is definitely aluminum. These parts here, the crank arm, this here, there's a little brass gear in there. This handle here, that's all aluminum. And then this is attached to the shaft here is made of stainless steel. This down here is actually made of aluminum too. And then there's a stainless steel thread right there that goes through. And then all of that gold colored material in there is all aluminum. The Picatinny rails are actually made of plastic, and that I'm kind of disappointed in. I thought they'd be made out of aluminum as well, like anodized black aluminum. But will it matter if they're plastic or not? Time will tell. I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot, just because it's the way they're made, the way that the torque will be applied to the rails. There's two stainless steel bolts very close together. They're screwed into aluminum. I don't think it's going to be a problem. But I kind of like the way it mounts up. A little surprised to see the rod attachment here is looks like painted stainless steel. You can see there's 2 holes instead of the 3 like they show on their website, and the one on the website is actually gold in color, not black. It's not a big deal. I'm just pointing out what I observed here. But let's see what else. The reel cover here is actually made of a plastic, and I don't know if it's like an ABS plastic or glass reinforced. It seems very durable. I don't think I'll be having trouble with that. And also the housing back here is also made of plastic. It's probably glass reinforced, similar to like the Muzzy reels are, the housing. This ring right here, that gold ring, is actually made of metal, and that's a retaining clip that goes around the clamshell and helps hold it together. And that actually has to come off to take the clamshell apart to get down into the main gear assembly, which I've actually already done on another video. I've already torn this reel completely apart, and that's in a different video. But so I know the reel inside and out pretty well. So open up the whoops, I gotta loosen up this. I'm just pulling the reel cover off here. You gotta slide that out to get it off. So you can see here more parts. This is actually made of plastic, which I'm kind of surprised to see. I thought they would be a little heavier. That would be heavier duty. Well, I got a tangle in my line. Anyway, yeah, those parts are plastic there, and then you see these little springs right there, and then there's pins that go through. See what happens here is you pull this lever back, and these pins come in, and that engages the spool. So if you keep pulling, you'll see that it touches that other piece. You know, this pulls into this piece, the pins come through. Those are the pickup pins for the line. If you keep pulling, there's another spring that engages the drag assembly, and that's how the drag assembly works. So you have to pull all the way down to allow the drag assembly to engage while you reel. I like the idea of being able to let go, and the line will be free spooling, and the fish can take some line. Like if I have a big fish on and it's taking a big run, and I know it's gonna pull hard, I can just let go and let it take some line, and then you know, just like that, just boom, it takes some line, and then I can re-engage it quick and start reeling in some slack. So I think the chances and the versatility of fighting a fish back to the boat are, it's pretty nice to be able to do that and let it go. One of the other things I did right out the gate was I wanted to see exactly for myself how much line this reel will take up in a single revolution of the crank. So one revolution of the handle here, basically like this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, one crank of the handle. They say that it's supposed to be 28 inches right out of the box. What I got was, I would say, 24 to 25 inches worth of line that it would take up in one revolution of the crank. And I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing on this reel as it is on the Muzzy. It all depends on how much line you have on your spool. So if you have less line and you're down to the bottom of the spool, your reel is going to take up less line per revolution of the crank than it would if you had a fuller spool of line. It's because the diameter of the line spool will be bigger, and the line to go around that diameter is actually, the circumference is greater than if there's not as much line on. So how much line the reel takes up is directly related to how much line is on the spool. But the gear ratio is very high, and I think it is going to be higher than what the Muzzy offers, and it takes up line very fast. It's going to be nice to be able to take up line that fast. Let's see, what else did I want to mention? The drag assembly, it's a little tighter than I'd like it to be when it's completely on the lowest setting. Not a big deal, because like I said, I can just let go and there's zero drag. But I'd like it to maybe, personally, I'd like it to maybe be a little less when it's all the way on the lowest setting. And then when you crank it up all the way, it's like a dead stop. The thing is not moving at all. Will not give any line at all. And I feel real good with the drive shaft. The anti-reverse mechanism that engages the drive shaft here directly. I feel good about pulling arrows out of the muck with that system in there. Like I said, I've already had it apart and I know this thing pretty intimately already, but it seems, you know, like I said, I was a little concerned at first, but based on what I've seen here, the quality is there. Whether anybody wants to realize it or not, the quality is definitely here. If you want to check out my other video, the teardown video, where I have the whole thing torn apart, it's very simple. It's probably as easy or even easier to tear this apart and replace any parts that need to be replaced than even the Muzzy reel is. So yeah, have a look at that if you want, and if you have any other questions, you want me to do anything, try anything out for you, do any tests or whatever, anything at all, just ask. Haters, Muzzy fans, I get it. You're fans of the Muzzy reel. This ain't for you. You know, this video is for the people that are interested in trying something new, that I believe could be superior to the Muzzy reel. I'm not gonna know that for sure until I get out on the water and field test it, you know, for probably a few months. No one's going to. And of course, you're not going to see a whole bunch of people with giant fish with these reels on their bows because they just came out. So you know, my advice to anybody out there that wants to talk shit about these, give them a chance, you know. Let this company prove themselves. Look at this. 3-year warranty, plus they offer a 30-day trial. It lets you try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, they'll buy it back. So really there's nothing to lose. That's the only reason I bought it. Well, actually the only reason I bought it is to promote the company, a new company that I believe has something spectacular here. I just a little not quite as pleased with the quality right offhand. I thought there would be more metal parts like that. The Picatinny rail and the housing I thought would maybe be cast aluminum or something. But I think it's good. I think it's well built. And what you get here, when you see the teardown video, you'll understand why they're $300. I think they're worth it. So check that video out and ask any questions you have, okay? Take care, guys.